Are you a player just trying out ESO? Are you someone who is still on the fence about getting ESO Plus? Maybe you're someone who has only played the game for about a month and you're like, I'm starting to get a little bit of a full inventory. Well, if you're any of these three players, or you're someone interested in how to play ESO without ESO Plus, this guide today will help you understand a few tips on how you can play the Elder Scrolls Online without the subscription model. These tips that I'm going to give you will help you optimize your characters to where you are utilizing them to their fullest potential. Thank you again to all my members and patrons that support the channel. You can check out all that down below in the description. You get your name up here in the video, early access to videos for certain tiers. You also get access to our members only Discord and much more. But without further ado, let's hop into the video. So first off, what is ESO Plus? ESO Plus is the subscription model that ESO runs its game on. However, it is not required to actually play ESO. So if you are familiar with World of Warcraft, you have to have a subscription to World of Warcraft to actually play the game. ESO is not like that. It gives you an optional choice to choose this subscription, and this subscription does give you a lot of nice benefits and quality of life updates, right? Essentially, it's recommended that you use it, but there's a lot of players in ESO that don't use ESO Plus. And so today, that is the focus of my guide, because I've got people that have told me before, like, maybe you should make a guide on how to play the game without ESO Plus, because some people just don't buy it, and they might need help with navigating the best way to play the game. So I have a few tips here that I'm going to go into for any of you that do not have ESO Plus or don't plan to get ESO Plus. But as you'll see, if we go to the Crown Store, ESO Plus tab is right here. So you see that a lot of the different perks here are DLC access. You get all the DLCs if you have ESO Plus. You get crowns every month. You get deals. You get the craft bag, which is one of the biggest things for ESO Plus and why people want it. You get extra storage, which is another big thing. You get double furnishing space, some increased progression. The furnishing space is also a big thing. And then some of these other things, double transmute crystals, costume dyeing, extra storage. But again, this game can be played without ESO Plus. So my first tip for playing the game without ESO Plus is creating mules, okay? If you don't know what mules are essentially characters that are just there to hold items. And I know that sounds kind of funny and kind of crazy, but it's not. You have a lot of characters that you can create without buying more character slots. I believe it's 8 or 9 characters that you can have available to you. You don't have to buy extra character slots for that, right? So with those characters, if you have 1 or 2 characters that you want to play a lot on, maybe a tank, a healer, and a DPS, and you have like a main account, you'll have 4 to 5 other characters that you can use as mules. Those mules can have access to at least 60 inventory slots plus more, depending on how many you increase their inventory by, as well as the horse inventory slots as well. But you can create characters here and just dump your items onto those characters. So for instance, if you log on to a few characters a day, some of your mules, you could just go to the stables. You could increase your horse's carrying capacity. You could increase their inventory space, and before you know it, you could have 100 to 120 inventory spaces on each character that could hold items for you. So that's one way that you can alleviate some of the pains of ESO Plus. And tip number 2 for helping you play the game without ESO Plus is banking the appropriate items. Okay, the appropriate items are various different things. So if you're in your character here and you see I have ESO Plus, so I have the craft bag, all of these crafting resources are not going to be in a craft bag if you don't have ESO Plus. So what is one thing you notice with these crafting items? They stack, right? And you can stack quite a few of them, right? So what I recommend is, for anyone that doesn't have ESO Plus, go to your banker, and the priority of things that you should bank in your inventory are crafting mats and resources, okay? Because they stack. And so you can just put a bunch of them in here and you won't have to worry about it. The reason being as well is because when you bank crafting mats in your bank, you can utilize those crafting mats from crafting tables without withdrawing them from your bank. Same with items. So if I wanted to deconstruct this Briarheart dagger here, I could keep this in my bank and deconstruct it from any crafting table in the world. So that's another thing. When you're also banking items, I would bank items that you're going to deconstruct later, and then that way your inventory is not as full when you get to doing questing or dungeons. But the biggest thing I'll say, again, bank your crafting mats. It is one of the most important things, I think, when you're playing this game without ESO Plus, because that will save you a lot of inventory space. Tip number 3 is actually putting storage units in your house. And you'll see, guys, that a lot of these things revolve around inventory, because one of the biggest hindrances of not having ESO Plus is you do run out of inventory space. That is why the craft bag is so important, and that's why I always recommend getting ESO Plus for inventory. But I have a tip for that later as well that will help you out in case you just still, again, do not want to get ESO Plus. But housing, furnishing containers, right? So let's go ahead and hop to my house real quick. So you'll see here in my house, I have all these storage containers. You can get these storage containers by the Crown Store. You can get them through the Master Writ Merchant, who is in your alliance, like capital city. So like Eldenroot is where I go. So his name is, let me find his name right here, Rolas Halalu. And what you can do is you can buy containers from him as well. So you'll see here the bigger ones are 60 storage. You have other ones that are 30 storage, and these stay in your house. And again, you can have these in your house and it stores tons more of items. So you could put crafting mats in here. You could put items in here. There's so much extra storage you can do here. You could also, again, get these for other characters and put them in different houses. Again, though, your characters will still go to your house, so it doesn't really matter, but you could just put these in your house and it just holds a lot of different items and resources. It's crucial, and I think a great way to alleviate, again, some of the pains of ESO Plus. And tip number 4 is one of the biggest tips you can have to playing this game without ESO Plus, right? Why I think this is so important is because this will set you up for so much success, and that is be alert on the free ESO Plus weekends when it comes to ESO. And usually I do a video on that. If you don't know when that happens, make sure to ring the bell and subscribe to the channel, because you will know when I release a video like that. But I'm going to get into why this is so important if you do not have ESO Plus. So if you didn't know this, when you do the free trial for ESO Plus, you get access to your double furnishing space bonus, and you get access to the craft bag. So what you should do is when you have access to the craft bag, you should put all the crafting resources that you have everywhere in the bag, okay? When the ESO Plus free weekend ends, those items stay in the craft bag. Now, you cannot put items back into it, but you can pull from it. Do you know how nice that is? So if you've been playing this game for years without ESO Plus, put all your mats into this bag. That will literally save you so much space. Then you can just withdraw them, and then again, at some point, you'll have to, put them back in your bank or your storage containers or whatever, right? But it is so helpful. Another thing is, like I said, with the double furnishing space, if you have a lot of furnishings, or if you want to put your decorations in your house, if you put your furnishings in your house with that double space, when that ESO Plus subscription ends or that free month ends, you can keep those things in your house. They do not leave. So that is another great opportunity to utilize the free weekend. Another reason why you should utilize the free weekends is if when you have ESO Plus, what you can do is you can run the DLCs. So that means you could go and do DLC dungeons and get the items that are in the dungeons. So you also want to make sure that you are alert with that. Those will not get taken away from you once you get those items. So if you go do some of these DLC dungeons here, you can go get the items you need and you will not lose them. That is why the free weekend is so important, because doing that will alleviate a lot of different pains of not having ESO Plus. But if you guys did like this video, please hit the like button. Let's try to hit 25 likes on this video. And if you do that, I'll be really happy. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you have any other tips for people that don't have ESO Plus that you utilized in the past or you do right now. And also check up all these videos up here on the screen. Thank you again to my members and patrons. Until next time, y'all, just remember, have faith, be great, and I'll see you on ESO.